welcome to our first episode of
Lisa and Leisha's Dating Adventures.
The Good,
the Bad,
and the Ugly Child.
Y'all better be ready, honey.
From the pain, all a part of love games.
Does she love me? Does she love me not? Cause it's a fairy tale to me. For her, I guess it's not. Set the plot. Time for her to...
Cheers, girl.
Cheers.
Finally got it started.
Day one. Don't you just love how wine tastes? It is the best. For y'all that drink tea, go ahead and drink your tea. But I'm drinking wine through this whole episode.
Straight grapes.
Yes, honey.
All right, so since this is our first episode, go ahead and tell the people a little something about yourself.
All right, so do I want to put my government name out? I don't know y'all yet, so no. My nickname is Lisa on this show. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Broward County 954.
Hey!
All y'all
turn
that
up! Turn
y'all
up!
know when y'all cooking on
Fort Lauderdale.
that's it. Oh yeah, we forgot. We need to listen. Y'all need to like, subscribe, and leave a comment when y'all watch this video if you like what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But I'm originally from Florida. I'm living in Atlanta. That's pretty what?
What you
else
do for a
wanna-
living?
I am a marriage and family therapist. So that's what I do. Hopefully I'm gonna get my own little business thing going on, but that's you guys will see that as we progress. And that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna expose right now. So tell people a little bit about yourself.
All right, y'all. My government name is Felicia, okay? Miss By Felicia, but you only get one time. I am from Fort Lauderdale 954 Pompano. Hello, turn up, Ely Tigers.
All right, Ely, we'll.
Blanche Ely Tigers. Anyway, I am living in Atlanta now, and I am a nurse by trade, but I also act and do voiceovers and do a little bit of other stuff in the entertainment industry.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All
Well, we met. How long we known each other?
What, 16 years? What was
Yeah, it was, because we were
About
14.
16 years.
Yeah, when we
Yeah.
was 14 in high school. So.
It's been a long time. Listen, y'all. This girl came from Kansas.
Oh, Lord. Here she
Where
goes.
you know Dorothy with them little glitter shoes. That's where this heifer come from. And girl, look, let me tell y'all, I had to help her around campus. She didn't know where she was going. Like Dorothy up underneath the house.
So you gonna tell my business
Listen.
like that?
Look, y'all gonna know the authentic, the genuine. We trying to be real.
But you wouldn't give the people your real government
Yeah,
name.
you know.
How
All
real
right. You know what? Dang, you had to put me out like that. I'm gonna get
I'm
on your
just
ass.
saying.
Well, okay. All right, let me just go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my real name is Jalyssa. That's all you need to know.
Thank you.
Jalyssa, that's
Thank
my
you.
real name.
That wasn't so hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
You're extra behind.
Lord have
Anyway,
mercy.
yeah, we known each other a long time. We like sisters, more like
Yes.
friends. So,
Yeah.
but anywho, back to the program.
Mhm.
So, Dating Adventures, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, I'm married. You are,
I'm taken, but on paper I'm single.
but it wasn't all the ways that way. Okay, we was all out here dating, and we all have our fair shares
That's
of
it.
stories
We
to
sure
tell.
do.
Okay, so we created this show just to let y'all kind of know that. You know, it may be looking grim now, but it's gonna be on the up and up soon. Okay,
That's
we
it.
was in your position too at one
Oh
point in time.
yes. Oh
Okay?
yes, honey. Oh God. Girl, listen, let me tell you, I done been through hell and back with these dating. Listen, let me tell y'all something. These, you know what? These dudes, for lack of better words, because I know it's gonna come out later. But these dudes, they something else. They don't never want to do right. How many people out there? Well, some of y'all got good men, because my mom and them got good men. So, Davey, if you watching, you know. But Listen, it is definitely a journey in dating and getting to know as basically other demographics and different areas, different states. Yeah. Dating is so much different because Florida dating is completely different than Georgia dating. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, Georgia's a whole nother breed. It's a whole nother breed.
Oh my God. It is stressful.
It's
you hear
tough.
me? It's stressful. Yeah. But the crazy thing is, Atlanta, when it comes to Atlanta dating, they will approach, girl. You ain't gotta worry about them approaching. It's their mindset. Exactly. That's the thing. They every which way.
Yep.
Girl, yeah.
And it's like the ratio is like 1 man to like 10 women. So it's like they got their share of who they want, and they ain't ready to settle down, and they don't feel like they have to because look, I got plenty of other people I can choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, it is. Yeah. So we'll definitely be getting into all that on this show, the dating adventures, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So y'all just stay tuned. Definitely laugh, giggle, get comfortable on your couch, wherever you are. Get your blanket, your pillow, whatever it is, because it's going to be a ride.
Yes. So,
definitely.
Without further ado, we got a little story for y'all. So we're going to go into some story time.
Okay.
You got a story for the people?
I got a story that's going to make y'all head fall off. Y'all head is going to spin. Listen.
All right, is this a good date, a bad date, or is it like something that was like really ugly? Like,
I consider this ugly.
Okay.
I don't even consider it bad. I consider it ugly.
Okay.
Because it, okay, let me just get into the story. Okay, so taking you back. It was freshman year of college, and you know how like nowadays it's more prevalent as far as dating online, finding, using different apps and things like that. But before all of that came out, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Christian Mingle, eHarmony, Black Planet, all that stuff.
She took it back to Black Planet.
Y'all know about Black Planet. If you don't know about Black Planet, you're too young. You don't even need to be on this channel. But anyway, you know about Black Planet.
I know about that.
All right. So yeah. So I was on Facebook, and I had met this guy. This guy had reached out to me through Messenger. Y'all know how dudes do. I reached out, whatever. He was nice looking, tall, dark skin, how I like him. Dark skin, tall. He was about 6'6", 6'7". Had a nice little vibe. Yeah, he was tall. Yeah. And I'm tall. Anyway, I'm 5'10", like 5'9.5", 5'10". So I need, a dude that's taller than me. Period. Y'all know how to girl. Y'all already know. So anyway, he was a nice guy. We had been talking for a couple of weeks or so, we had been talking. And I decided to okay, let me see what this guy's like. Let me meet up with him in person. He seems like to be a good guy. So let me see. And, in my head, I was kind of nervous, but I still was like, let me just try. So we decided on the time. So we decided like 6:30, 7 o'clock we was going to meet up. Did he initiate the date, or did you initiate it? Or was it kind of like, let's just meet up? Yeah, I think it was like a kind of like, let's just meet up kind of thing. Like, I think he brought it up first. And I just was like, okay, well, let me see. And then, because we hadn't talked a little minute and stuff like that, I felt a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. So, and mind you, this is the first and last time I have met somebody online. So, okay. So, we decided on the day. We went, I think, during the weekend, probably a Saturday night, Friday night, one of those nights. I can't remember. But we met in the evening. So, I drove down because he lived in Fort Lauderdale, and I was at in West Palm Beach, Boca area. That's where, I went to school. So, I drove down. So I'm driving. I had my little Ford Focus then, girl. My little tents, I was booming in the Yoda. Yeah, so I'm driving down 95, going, southbound. I got him on the phone because I'm getting closer to location. You know how it is. People they texting you when they saying, hey, where you at? You on your way? Where you? What's your ETA? That kind of thing. So we had been texting back and forth, but then it got to a point where he called me. So we on the phone, we talking, we on the phone, we laughing, cackling, whatever. He's like, oh, you know, I'm excited to see you, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see you, can't wait for us to go out, hang out, you know. So I'm saying the same thing. Oh, okay, I can't wait to see you. This will be the first time we meet, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So, girl, I get off I-95. I think, like, Sunrise Boulevard I pulled off. It's either Oakland Park or Sunrise Boulevard. One of them. Y'all, people that's from Fort Lauderdale, y'all know. You gotta pick one. So, it's one of them. So, I got off, and I'm driving. Now, for y'all that's from Fort Lauderdale, y'all know, if you driving and you get into, like, a dealer area,
Uh-oh.
y'all already know.
He had you pull up near Dillard?
He stayed over there, some apartments over there by Dillard. And those apartments was like the little raggedy apartments where it be straight.
Nah.
Listen, I was trying to give people a try. And that's where I messed up. So I tried to give him a try. So I was like, okay. So I'm on the phone with him, mind you. So I'm driving. He like, hey, what, you know, Jalyssa, what car you drive? I'm like, oh, I got a black Ford Focus. Mm-hmm. I'm on this street. I'll be pulling up in like 5 minutes. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be looking out for you. Mm-hmm. So at that point, you can't really. He already knew what car I was driving. He knew I was coming. Mm-hmm. He knew I was 5 minutes away. He out the door. So when I'm driving, I get to the road. I pull on his street. Mm-hmm. He outside. So I pull up. I'm noticing that it's pitch black. It's dark. You know, like.
It was pitch black. Like no street lights, no nothing.
The street lights was on, but his apartment was off. Listen, when I say in my head, because he was like, oh, I see you. At that point, you got to make a choice. Do you drive off on this nigga?
Hell yeah.
While he's still looking at you and y'all two like look at each other's eyes? Or do you just say, you know what, let me see what the night holds? See?
So you took a chance.
I took a chance.
Okay.
My warning signs was already up, but I took a chance.
Yeah.
So I pull up to the off the swale, like the little swale, you know, between the sidewalk and his apartment. I pulled up. So I get out the car. So he was like, hey, you looking nice, you looking good, oh, you so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. So I'm grinning, skimming, and grinning, but in my head,
You compliments.
He was nice. He was respectful.
Okay.
I didn't like these niggas do.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, he's nice, he's respectable, he's a good guy. Okay, let's see, you know, despite the lights being off, let's see what night holds.
Did you ask though, like when you pulled up, like you noticed his apartment? Cause okay, his apartment was dark, but was everybody else's like was like was it the power outage?
You know what? No, everybody else's lights was on. But you know what? I don't think in my head I was thinking about that. Yeah. I kind of just was present there. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He waiting for me to get out the car. I'm looking at the lights. I feel like I can't really pull off because he sees me. So it's like, and then I think a lot about people's feelings and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, you know, even though he a dude and stuff, but I still was like, dang, I don't want to pull off on him. He see me right here. Uh-huh. So I got out. So when I walked up the porch, now I'm walking up the sidewalk, walk to the porch, he's sitting on the little porch. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, how you doing? You know, you can do a little side hug, you know, whatever.
Don't give him too much.
Yeah, don't give him too much. Yeah. Don't give him too much. So I gave him a little side hug, whatever. And he was like, he was like, man, I really appreciate this night. I really appreciate this evening. Yeah. I thank you so much for taking the time to come out with me and, you know, spend that time with me and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay.
Gentleman-y.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Yeah. All right. I might have landed on something. Uh-huh. So as we were talking, and I'm like, I said, well, why you sitting in the dark? Mm-hmm. And so he was like, no, we had a little situation where I didn't know that the bill hadn't been paid or whatever. So listen, don't do me like that. So he was like, he didn't know. For real.
What do you mean he ain't know the bill?
He didn't know because I guess he don't pay the light bill. I guess he don't know he don't pay the light bill.
Uh-huh.
So his mom, so he was like, oh, I gave my mom the money to pay the bill. She didn't pay the bill.
So he lived with his mom.
He lives with his mom.
Did you know that before?
No.
Oh.
Because that would have been a warning sign.
Did you ask him if he lived by himself or did he?
No. And that's probably where I messed up. Listen, we all mess up in life. And I was 18.
Okay, you
Yeah, I was
get a little
young.
pass.
It wasn't like I was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 18. So dang. So he was like, yeah, I gave my mom the money and stuff like that, and I don't know why she ain't paid it, and da 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 da. I apologize. I'm sorry. Like, I hope this don't, mess up what we got going on. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dang, like that's messed up. Like, cause you don't know people's family situations.
Yeah. So
I was like, I don't want to judge him based upon what his mom is doing or not doing.
Well, at least he didn't lie about it.
He did.
He was upfront.
He told me straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And he told me, thank you for this evening. Thank you for spending time with me. I'm sorry, with this whole situation, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So at this point, I'm like, all right, well, because I'm thinking because I drove from Boca, which is like, it was like at least probably like a 30-minute drive from Boca up into Fort Lauderdale. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to drive. Mm-hmm. So I asked him, I was like, okay, so, where we going? Where's the car? Where we going to go? And da-da-da. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, my mom took the car. I was like, So at that point, I started like, my eyebrows was getting up.
Yeah.
But I still was like, oh God, like, Jalyssa, what do you do? What do you do in this situation? Like, what do you do? What do you do? And so my mom was still running, but it was kind of like we were still present. He was still talking to me. I'm still having to answer. Yeah. But I'm still like, what do I do? What do I do? So he was like, yeah, the car ain't been, wasn't working or whatever. And my mom took the other car because he was pointing to like a little Ford Explorer or something that had been parked on the side.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, we can't. And he was like, well, no, that one don't work. My mom took the other car and blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I'm like, oh God. So I got to put him in my car. Uh-huh. So I'm like, but then I try to make it make sense to me. Mm-hmm. So that's how we do females.
Justify.
We justify.
Yeah.
We justify the situation. I shouldn't have even justified, period. But I justified it. And I was like, you know what? Well, you know what? It would be better if I'm more in control. It would be better if I'm in my car. Because if he cut up or he had the food, it's not like he took me nowhere, or it's not like, and it is my first time meeting him. So maybe it is probably best that I drive. Mm-hmm. So I made it make sense. So now at this point, we get off the porch. It's dark. We get into the Ford Focus. I close my door. He closed his door. Boom. So we drive. I'm like, okay, so, because mind you, I feel like I'm not every woman. So if y'all got something to say in the comments, leave it below. So, I'm not every woman. But for me, I feel like a male should plan every now and then. He should plan for the most part, especially if it's your first date. Yeah. You should know where we going. Mm-hmm. You should know what we doing. Mm-hmm. You should know all of that, to me.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get later down the line, like Felicia, she's married and stuff like that. So maybe it could be a little different. The dynamic could be different here and there. But as far as somebody when you're first dating, you should be putting your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel. Yeah. So for him to say, we get in the car and he's like, oh well, so what we doing? Where we going? I said, my face was like, what do you mean? What we doing? Where we going? Yeah. So I said, well, you don't have a place, so where we gonna go? What we gonna do? He was like, no, I was basing it off of what you want to do and because I don't know the kind of foods that you like, and I don't know the kind of things that you like to do. So, and I'm like, so because I don't like seafood and stuff like that. So look now this. Let me start. So he had the nerve to say, okay, well we driving down Sunrise Boulevard, and he's like, oh well, why don't we how about Red Lobster? Let's go to Red Lobster. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm like, I don't even like seafood. So I told him, well, we can't go to Red Lobster because of the simple fact that I don't like seafood. So it's not really nothing on the menu that I can eat like that. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, okay, what other places is up where we're going? Because I don't know where all the places at. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know where no place is at. And you born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm. You supposed to know. Everybody know where stuff is at. Yeah. Even if you don't know where everything at, you know off university. Yeah. What Broward Mall at. Oh yeah. You know what's in that area. Yep. So I mentioned, because I like different foods and stuff, but I mentioned Carrabba's. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why don't we go to Carrabba's? He was like, what kind of food is that? I was like, it's an Italian restaurant. We can go and order and, you know, that kind of thing. So he was like, okay, cool, let's do that. So I was like, all right, bet. We pull up at Carrabba's. He gets out. He does open up the door for me.
Okay.
We get out. So, you know, I'm still kind of like, okay. Oh, hold on, wait. Let me rewind. Before we did it, he was like, well, do you want to go to a movie? Do you want to go to a movie and then we go get something to eat? Or do you want to go get something to eat and then we go to the movies? And so in my head, I was like, you know what? Because I was already a little bit turned off from the fact that he didn't plan nothing. The fact that he didn't know nothing. So I was already, then the fact that you in my car, the fact that your lights was off, the fact that, so I'm adding stuff up in my head. So I'm already kind of like, no, I'm trying to like, go do what we're going to do and then end it and go back to the crib.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no, we ain't going to do the movies. Don't worry about the movies or whatever. Let's just go get us something to eat. So he was like, okay.
Movies is a horrible first date because you can't talk.
You can, all you're doing is like this.
Yeah.
Watching the movie, and then at the end, you know, you might put your little arm around me and something like that. That's pretty much it.
But there's no room to get to know one another and find out interests and likes and...
Exactly. And because this was our first date, I didn't want people to think this was my man.
Yeah.
So, in the movies, when you see a female and a male, unless you're going during the day, a matinee movie, or early in the morning or something like that, you're going to automatically think of evening time with a man, you're going to assume that, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? No, we ain't going to do no movies. No, I didn't know it was coming out anyway, so no, we're not doing no movies. We're going to go up here to Carrabba's and just do that. So, fast forward the story. He gets out, opens up the door. We walk in, or whatever, he walking ahead of me. He opens up the door to the restaurant. We walk in. I'm like, okay, so he does have like gentleman-like type behaviors. Okay, so let's just see how it goes. So we go, the waitress comes, the hostess or whoever says, okay, well, where would you like to sit? So, okay, of course we chose a booth. He sat on one side, I sat on the other side. So we get the menus. She asks, okay, well, what are your drinks? I order water, because let me tell you, let me put y'all females on game. Listen, my mama told me, if you ever go out on a date, you always want to make sure that you can pay for your end of the meal. She's always said, so no matter what it is, whether you go to a high-end restaurant, 5-star, a little Denny's, or whatever, you want to make sure that you can pay your end of the bargain. Yeah. So, not that I had no money or nothing, but I was like, okay, I'm going to get me a water. He ordered like a fruit punch, lemonade, something. He ordered that. So then we looking at the menu, whatever. So, you know, while you're talking and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, so what are you thinking about ordering? So he was like, oh, you know, it's so much stuff on the menu. It looks so good, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, what about you? I don't really know what I want. What do you want? So I was like, I'm going to probably order me a Caesar salad. So he was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So the waitress comes, and she's like, so how may I help you? What would you like? So I order my Caesar salad. And he orders a spaghetti meal. Okay. So he orders a spaghetti meal, and so I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then he also told her that he wanted to order a lasagna to go. So I'm like, okay, so because he was a big dude, I will say that, 6'6", by 230. Okay. He was a big dude. Yeah, he a big dude. So I'm like, okay, well maybe he just wants something later on or whatever. So. All right, so we waiting. So as we're talking, we like, hey, so, how you doing? I'm so happy you came out tonight. The little chit chat. So we laughing, we grinning, smiling every now and then. It gets like dull a little bit where you quiet, you looking around, and then we start a conversation. So the meals come out. He gets his spaghetti. I get my salad. So while we are eating and stuff, I've noticed that's a lot of slurping and there's a lot of slurping and stuff going on. So I said, all right, so why is this? So I'm not, now mind you got your fork, you got your knife, and if the lettuce is small enough, you can just chew it. You don't put too much on your fork. You chew so ain't nothing sticking out of your cheek. It's certain etiquettes that you have. So you chewing or whatever. I look across him. Let me get my bowl. I know y'all see it right here.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, this is just for an example.
She brought a prop.
I brought a prop so y'all could see what I saw. This boy, so he has the bowl, and it was a nice size bowl. And now, for any of the people that know, or if you don't know, this is learning. when you have linguine, fettuccine, any of them type of things where the noodles just hanging, if you have a pasta spoon, you take the fork, and they gave him this. They gave him a big fat spoon, and they gave him a fork. This dude had the nerve. He stuck it. First of all, this is how he was eating. He took the fork. He scooped it. The noodles were hanging, honey. And he just was like, I'm like, order in the courtroom.
That nigga been in jail before.
Probably did, and I didn't even know it. Oh my God. He went to slurping. And girl, listen, when he was slurping, he was the sauce. Y'all know how if it be loose sauce, that sauce be flicking. It wasn't baked, honey. It wasn't no baked spaghetti. It was that spaghetti, then you add the sauce to the top. I said, oh my God, I couldn't take another ever. I could not take it. So I told him, I said, hey, let me help you with that. So he was like, no, I got it. I said, no, let me help you. So he was like, what? I said, you have a pasta spoon. Let me show you how you're supposed to do it. I said, because you might just not know. Let me help you. So it's easier, it's, better, so you don't have to do what you're doing. So he was like, okay. So he slid, his bowl was there. He slid it to me. So I said, okay. So I took the fork. I took it in the noodles. I spin it. I had the spoon, and you have to have it like angled. And then I started spinning it with the fork so that it wrapped around, so it was a circular motion on the spoon, so no noodles had to drop. So you can, when you finish spinning, it's sitting on your fork, and you can then add it to the mouth. Yeah. So I said, see, that's how you do it. I said, so let me see you try. So he did it one time. He was like, dang, it's taking too long. Like, I could have been in 8 already. I'm like, oh my God, we are in the ghetto.
Oh, he was hungry.
Ooh, child, the ghetto. So he just eat. So he finally did it. He ate it one time. He was like, you know what? He said, he was like, it's really it's just take too much time. It just take too much time. I said, I'm just trying to show you that's the proper way of doing it. However you choose to eat. Because in my head, I'm like, it's done after this. It's done. So the pasta was the big.
That was the final straw.
It was already the final straw for me. I was just like, let me just sit here for a little bit till we finish, and then I'm dropping this nigga off, and I'm done. So he he ate, he studied eating, saw still flicking, because he didn't stay with the way I taught. He went back to his ways. He was like, oh, you lucky I ain't home, because if I was home, I'd lick the bowl.
Hell no.
I said, oh,
He did not say he
you
would
would lick the bowl? Yeah, let me.
I can't believe he told you that.
Yeah, he said, you better be lucky I ain't home. Because if I was home, I would lick the bowl. What does this look like? What does that look like?
He can't cook nothing with no lights on.
Stove ain't, oven ain't working, refrigerator ain't working, freezer ain't working. Listen, this ain't even this is the middle. This ain't even the end.
Oh boy.
So he does that, right? So I'm really turned off at this point. But I'm like, I'm just gonna stick it out. So then here comes his other entree, because he ordered a second entree. Mm-hmm. His other entree comes, and he was like, man, that spaghetti really had me full. Mind you, hold on, wait, rewinding. While we're eating, while we're talking, while we're having that time before his food came and all that, he just kept saying, I appreciate you for the night. While we were driving and we were talking, he was like, I appreciate you for the night. I really appreciate you for the night. I appreciate your time. I appreciate this. I appreciate. Right. And I kept saying, well, thank you. Okay, no, it's cool, whatever. Yeah. I appreciate. So I'm like, okay. So then, when his lasagna meal comes out, a nice fat piece of lasagna, he's like, man, that spaghetti was so filling. I'm so full, I can't eat no more. So I'm just gonna have to take that to go. So he tells the waitress, can you just go ahead and pack it? I'm gonna take it to go. Mm-hmm. So the waitress was like, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and pack it up and I'll bring it back. So what she did, she packed it up, she brought it, and she left it on the table. So we still chatting, whatever, for a couple of minutes or whatever. And then so at some point he's like, man, I really just appreciate you, man. I'm really enjoying my time. How you enjoying your time? You lie, you cap. And I just like, oh, no, I'm really having a good time. I knew I was going to never talk to him again. But I was like, I'm having a good time. Yeah, you know, I'm happy that we, finally got to meet and stuff like that. So the waitress comes back and she's like, well, are you guys finished? Do you want dessert? Do you want it? Or are you guys done? So I look at him. He's like, no, I don't want nothing. I was like, no, I don't want anything. We're good. You can just go ahead and bring out the check. So he was like, okay, cool. Let me put my prop back. So he was like, yeah, we're good. So, okay, so she comes out. So she brings the check. Now y'all know when the check comes, it's that inner feeling, especially if it's a dude that this your first date or it's a couple of dates. Inwardly, you like, okay, I wonder if he gonna pay for the date or if we gonna go Dutch or if we gonna, but you don't know. So the check comes. All right, so I got this. And shout out
prompts today.
That's my maiden right there. So let me shout out to my cousin who bought me this when I graduated. So this is the perfect. This is literally the perfect book for this. Cause guess what? It just got real. So the check comes out. So y'all know how the waitresses do. They walk up on you. They like have it,
Where did they put it? Did they put it near him or near you?
She said, and I quote, she said, oh, here's a check for the lovely. And she said, and then she like act as though you're the female and I'm the male.
Okay.
So she said, for the lovely, and she did like this, but then she laughed and said, I'm just playing for the lovely man.
Okay.
And he turned it to him.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm like, okay. So we still sitting there, mind you. Most men that's about their business, I will put that in there. Men that's about their business, that got it good, that's doing right, that respects their woman and stuff like that, gonna take the check. Ain't gonna be no pressure. He decides, he's like, so we still talking. Ain't nobody touch the checkbook. Cause honey, I'm gonna see what you gonna do.
I know that's right.
So I'm still talking. I'm like, well, it was a really nice evening. You say those little hints to like, let's wrap it up. So he just was like, I said, well, you gonna go ahead and no. First he laughed. He was like, hey. I said, you gonna go ahead, and he said, hey. And he turned it like this on me. I said, so for people that really listen, for people that really know me, I do not play, and I will let you have it. I really will. Especially if you get under my skin or you make me mad or something. I will let you have it. So since we laughing, I'm gonna laugh too. I did them like this. I turned it back on. So we like this. We laughing in the booth. You gonna laugh? I'm gonna laugh as long as you laugh. So he laughed again. He flipped it back on me. Let me drink.
Y'all going back and forth.
And I said, ha, and I flipped it back on him. Tell me why we flipped that check about 5 times.
Oh my goodness.
Back and forth.
Oh.
We kept looking. By the 4th time, after I had to say, hey, and I flipped it on him, and then he said, hey, this was going on the 5th. I said, my laugh had to come down. I couldn't laugh not another more. Because it wasn't funny from the beginning. But I could not laugh another time. So
he's all getting serious now.
It's getting serious. Yo, all the giggles gone. It's gone. It's gone. I'm not laughing out no more. Not one giggle. So I said, for real, stop playing. Go ahead and pay for the check. Stop playing. He was like, nah. Remember when I said I appreciate? I said, what do you mean? He was like, remember when I said I appreciate the night and I appreciate the evening and I appreciate, all of those things. And I was like, yeah, I remember when you said that, but you just, you was thanking me for the evening or whatever. He was like, yeah, you remember when I said all of that and I was thanking you and da-da-da. I said, yeah, but, you was just being kind. You was just letting me know what it was.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I don't really, well, first, but before he was saying what he was going to say, I had to, you know how you still present in a moment, but you like, you know how like That's So Raven back in the day.
Oh yeah.
That's So Raven get that love and she
that
zoned out,
vision.
and you be like, and everybody be talking, but she like,
yeah.
That's the moment I had. I had been zoned out, and I was like, I started doing flashbacks. So I pulled up in the yard. I pulled up at his house. He was in the dark. He thanked me for the evening. He got in my car. He thanked me on the way coming. He asked me for if we can go to the movies and then go to eat and then go to the movies. Then we went to Carrabba's. He held the door. We sat at the restaurant. He ordered 2 entrees. He thanked me for the evening. We eating salad. He scooping spaghetti. I had the zone completely out. And when I came to, it was thunderclouds. It was thunderclouds. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So we sitting there, and I said, so after I had the gang came back, I said, he still was like, yeah, because remember what I said, so you don't have no money? I had to cut him off. I said, you don't have no money.
You cut it straight to the chase.
Yeah, because I'm through. I'm through. And that's how I don't try to get. I don't want to get like that. So I try to like protect my space. But he hadn't went too far. I literally, when I said, you don't have no money, you don't have no cash, you don't have no debit card, you ain't got no credit card, you don't have shit. I had nothing, and Lord forgive me, because I don't be trying to cuss like that at all. But I cussed this nigga out. I told him, I said, you don't have, you ain't got no debit card, you ain't got no cash, you ain't got no money, you ain't got shit. And so he was like, no, because I said, and so I was like, you sit up here, you want to take me to a movies, and you want to take me to a thing, you offering Red Lobster like you got money, and you don't have shit. Like, so I'm like, I'm through, I'm over, I'm upset.
In a restaurant.
And so I'm like, at this point, I'm like, oh no, you done tried me for the last time. You took my kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
You done tried me. So at this point, I'm like, dang, so Jalyssa, what should you do? So he's still apologizing and stuff. I'm still zoned out at this point. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So then the lady still, you know, like the waitress, they do like little circle. They keep coming around. They notice that the thing ain't pushed to the side. So they know they can't really, you know, pick up the check. Or they'll come through every now and say, are we done? Are we done? Are we finished? And we kept saying no or whatever. So I had, and this is where a lot of my homegirls was getting on my case. Because they was like, I can't believe you did that. But what I did was, I had enough money to pay for the meal. So I took my card and I put it in and I went ahead and have them pay for the meal or whatever. And so we paid for the meal. At that point, I didn't wait for this nigga at all. After I had none, paid for the check, my thing came, I signed, gave her a tip or whatever, I got up immediately. And I walked to the door. So he trying to hurry up and walk behind me because he know I'm tipped off. I'm upset. I'm pissed off. So he gets in the car or whatever. The whole time, he is apologizing from here to Carolina. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I thought you knew what I meant. I'm not, when I get tipped off, I don't have nothing else to say. I don't go back and forth. I'm done. So at that point, we driving. I literally, and I could have got pulled over because I was speeding and I did run red lights. I did, and that involved my safety. But I ran a couple of red lights on Sunrise Boulevard, heading back from University up into Oakland Park. I ran them, and so I got there. When we pulled up to his spot, he was and mind you, this nigga made sure he had his little to-go order. I should have took his stuff. I really should have, but I didn't. And you know what? If you watching this video right now and you remember what you did, bump you, because you wasn't right, and you treated me like crap, and you scarred me, and that's the reason why. And that's the reason why I never try to date nobody online.
Look, why would you order 2 entrees?
And you don't got no money.
Yeah.
That was my whole thing. So you balling on my budget.
Yeah.
You straight up trying me.
Yeah.
So you want to go to the movie. You want to parlay. And you know what? Let me tell y'all something. I thought about this. I said, you know what? If I would have took him to the movies first, I would have found
you would have. You
because you got to pay for that first.
Yeah.
So I would have knew right then you would have the money, and then from there I would have just banged on him then. So in my head, I done played this scenario so many times, and I was like, dang, you know what? I should have just went to the movies, but I didn't. So,
but wait, hold on, because you said, I thought you knew what I meant. As far as he didn't have any money to pay for the meal, why couldn't you be up front from the beginning when you were so honest about your lights was off, but you couldn't be upfront about you didn't have money to take you out.
See, and that's the thing. I think what he was doing was when I pulled up to that thing, he was like, "Oh, I had the lights was off. I had to give my mama the money to pay for the light bill or whatever." So in my head, I'm thinking that was the answer for me to let me know I needed to piece it together that the money that he was going to spend, which could have been a lie, the money that he was using to spend on us was given to his mother, hence the reason why he gave appreciation. That's what I really think he meant now that I thought about it. But then you just think that a person just appreciating you for, whatever.
Yeah.
So, girl, we get to his house. We pull up on that same little swell I told y'all about at 3 minutes of this video. We pulled up at this swell. So, I get to the swell and he's still 1 foot out, 1 foot in with the door open. And he just, I'm sorry, man. I know I should have told you up front. I just said, get out my car. Like, I didn't want nothing. I said, get out. So he gets out the car, and while his foot's still in, I sped off. I sped off on his foot. And like anybody that ever sped off on somebody, when that door be open, that if you speed off fast enough, that door gonna swing back. So he was tripping in the back in my rearview mirror. I saw him tripping, but I sped off and the door closed.
That was almost attempted murder.
Whatever. You shouldn't have tried me. You shouldn't have tried me. Period. And that city girls, we lost. But city boys, y'all up 1,000. Anyways. So what? Let me tell you, and how we ended it was after I sped off on him, and he was tripping in the dust, and I the door slammed, and I blasted my music, and I was just in my head like, I can't believe him, I can't believe this boy tried me, I can't believe, dang. I pull up to the dorm, and my roommate was like, oh my God, I can't wait till you get back, oh my God, and if you watching this, roomie, you know what I'm talking about. And we pulled up, and she was like, so how was the day? She was sitting on her bed. And I said, I don't want to talk about it. And she was like, no, you got to tell me. Girl, I told her that hell day. And me and her laughed and drunk and laughed about this whole story. She was like, Jay, I cannot believe that happened. I was like, oh my God. Like, so girl.
Wow.
That was the bad day. Not no good, the bad. That was a ugly day. Y'all, oh Lord have mercy.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all.
Did he ever try to reach out to you after that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. This dude tried to reach out to me. He tried to text me, but I had to block his number. He was done with him. And then he tried to hit me up on Facebook, because that's kind of like where we met. He was blowing up my messenger, hit me up, he apologized, blah, 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 blah. Of course, I was like reading his messages a little just to see what he was saying, but I hadn't responded. And I just went, after that, I banged on. Like, I never talked to him again. I deleted him from Facebook. He tried to request me again. That was it. And I never went back. Like, I know I work. Don't be trying me like that. You straight up tried me. Like the fact that you thought you got, the fact that you did get over, because you got over. I paid your meal. You got 2 entrees. You got a ride. All of that. And
but that like you got some like balls, some big balls to like. After you already know, like, he almost lost his life when you sped off. Like, the nerve of you to still contact me and still want some form of communication, like, after that was ridiculous.
See, that's what I be talking about. That's what I talk about. And see, that's thank God for my man now. Oh, thank God, because I don't have to go through these struggles. Jesus.
So what was your big like lesson? Like if somebody were to come and ask you for advice, like what would be your number one lesson from that story?
My number one lesson would be, if you pull up and that dude in the dark, pull off. And another lesson, if for whatever reason you in a situation like me and you have to pay, you get the check and you notice he ain't got no money, pay for your half and walk out.
I know that's right.
I never do it again.
I know that's right.
Oh my God.
You could have paid for your half, walked out, left, and that nigga would have been left washing dishes.
Exactly. I I never do it again, y'all. I never do it again. I've learned at my 18-year-old self, I never do it again.
Not only that, meeting dudes online is not always the safe thing to do.
Mm-mm.
Especially if you haven't had like prior contact with them. Y'all should have met somewhere mutual. Now pulling up to this man's house. You ain't never been there.
You right.
You ain't never met him.
You right.
Nothing.
You right.
Pull up somewhere mutual. So that way you know, okay, you know, if I need to pull off or meet in public, there's people around that can see what's going on.
Yeah. You right. You right. That's why I learned my lesson. I never do it again. I never do it again. But for y'all that's out there laughing, I'm happy y'all for that. Because I laugh now, but then I was not laughing.
That's what we here for. We here for the entertainment.
We here for the entertainment. Y'all laugh, y'all gag, y'all have fun.
Learn from our mistakes.
I'm telling you, because y'all don't want to be like me. And a lot of y'all probably said, I never do nothing like that. She crazy. You right. You right. Y'all making the right decision. Don't do like me. Let me be a learning curve. Goodness gracious.
That was a good story.
Yes. Yes, honey.
All right. That was good. All right, y'all. So, on our show, we also like to have a star of the week. And those are people who are out there doing the doggone thing, okay? Whether you have a business, whether you have a career, whether you are a social media personality, actor, entrepreneur, whatever you do, we like to highlight those people and congratulate them. And so this week's star is somebody who does custom-made gifts, so like tumblers, if you piggy banks, shoes, handbags, whatever. And actually, she made me this. I don't know if you can see, but it has my name, Felicia. Okay, this whole bedazzled jewel tumbler. I use it every day. And also, she does masks. Hello, we are in COVID quarantine 2020. Yeah. So cute little mask. Okay.
Yeah, put it on so that people can see.
And it has the little insert here, so you can put a hospital grade filter in. Yeah. Like, see, very cute.
Yeah, very cute, very sleek, very nice. Her emblem here is on the side.
Okay.
It's very nice.
So that's our boss babe of the week is Treasure Chest Customs.
Yes.
We'll drop the info so you can go follow them across all social media platforms.
Yes.
Okay. And don't forget to follow us. Okay.
Right.
We're gonna be doing a weekly show. Okay. Next week you'll hear about my horrible dating story. And if you are interested in coming and telling your story,
I know that's right.
Then hit us up in our DMs on Instagram, Facebook, or drop a comment below. Okay, we would love to hear from you. Okay?
Yes, yes.
So until next week.
Until next week, because y'all was laughing and gagging on me. We gonna laugh and gag on her. We sure are. We sure are. So yes, make sure you like and you comment, you subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And and make sure you follow us on all platforms.
Exactly. And remember, babes, you all are gorgeous. Okay. We love you. We'll see you next week.